Hi everyone, Ed from the VGMbassy here. You might be a little surprised to see a bonus episode pop up on your VGMbassy feed. The reason behind that is this is technically a Patreon-only Embassy exclusive episode, but in light of worldwide quarantine and a lot of uncertainty going on in the world right now, I've decided to do something a little bit different for this episode. Normally, I get together with my friends Joe and Todd, and we have a great time chatting about current issues in video games, the latest news, new things that might be coming up, pet peeves about stuff. We just, kind of have a chat session and wrap some music around it. And we have a great time, and our Patreon patrons seem to love it as well. But because of isolation and social distancing and trying to keep everybody healthy, we can't get together. So I had an idea to reach out to the Patreon patrons of the show and put together a list of calming or uplifting tracks just to keep things positive for this weird time that we're in right now. I'm not handling this that well myself, so I especially would benefit from having a bunch of positive words come from people that I respect and consider friends, and a whole bunch of nice music to kind of chill out to when I'm not having a great time. And I imagine lots of people are very stressed out right now too. I know just from posts on Facebook and Discord and just from private messages from friends that everybody's having kind of a rough go of everything. So, Embassy exclusive episode 21 is a public episode. It's not just available for the VGMbassy tier or higher. It will be available on the Patreon feed, but I'm also putting it on my regular VGMbassy feed, so a few of you might be getting double episodes. They are the same show, so you don't need to go listen to the other one if you're listening on one or the other. But if you're not a Patreon patron and you are listening to this, I hope you enjoy it. This isn't a ploy to try to get you to join the Patreon to listen to the other Embassy exclusives, because this is nothing like any other Embassy exclusive we've ever put out. I just want it to be a gift, and I'm hoping that through the efforts of our lovely patrons that, it might lift somebody's spirits out there. So everybody's given us a little bit of a testimonial to go along with their music. And I'm not going to offer too much in the way of critique about the music. I just want to let the music kind of speak for itself. So I'm mostly just going to be either playing an audio clip that the patron left or reading their testimonial and taking a little journey with you guys through all the music that we'll be presenting in the show. And then I'll have a little pick of my own at the very end. So to start off with our music today, our Embassy exclusive co-host, Joe Marolo, has the first one, and he writes, I put a lot of thought into my pick. First, I wanted to go with the Prisoner's Awakening theme from Dead Cells, since that song always makes me think about trying just one more time and getting pumped for another run that this time will be different. But I've already played that one. Then I thought about going to an old standby comfort track from Mega Man 2, but I figured that Todd already beat me to it. So, my pick is going to be a classic, feel-good tune that everybody knows. It's one that celebrates accomplishment and invites you to a whole new section of the world for the first time. I remember hearing it for the first time after Epona leapt that gap and landed on the other side. This is the Gerudo Valley theme from Ocarina of Time for the N64 by the legendary Koji Kondo. That was Gerudo Valley from The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time by Koji Kondo. Thank you, Joe, for that track. Next up, we've got a track from Mr. Dan Lawton, and he writes, "The magic and whimsy this track presents is the quintessential calming piece of video game music. The harps feel like they're plucking my very emotions, and they help me drift into a tranquil state. Every time I hear this track, I know all will be well. It will get better." And we have another Koji Kondo track coming up. This is Fairy Fountain from The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. That was Fairy Fountain from The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo by Koji Kondo. Continuing our, Zelda triumvirate here, we've got a track from Alex the Messenger. He writes, "When Ed was asking everyone for calmer, uplifting tracks, I immediately thought of this track from The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess. This short and sweet track is calm, but also gives you the feeling of being victorious. The worldwide situation that is going on these days is a battle that can and will be won as long as we stay positive and make it to the next day. I can't promise that things will be easy, but I can promise that we will make it through this crisis one way or another. Kind of like the bosses in Twilight Princess. Not easy, but you'll make it through if you try hard enough." Let's listen to Boss Defeated from The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess, composed by Koji Kondo and Toru Minagishi. That was Boss Defeated from The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess by Koji Kondo and Toru Minagishi, submitted by Alex Messenger. Next up, we have a track from Daniel Perney, aka Muddle Madness. Originally, he wrote, "My first pick has to be Katamari. Any of the series always brings out a smile. Breath of Fire 3 would be another. The game has so much comedy and great sprite works to make it my favorite RPG to always go back to time after time." And that wasn't really specific enough, so I pressed him for an actual track, and so he wrote back to me, "Breath of Fire 3, Country Living. Breath of Fire 3 has so many great and happy tracks, and it was hard to pick one. Also to add that this had a fishing minigame in it that I could sit there and enjoy catching fish without a care in the world. So here's Country Living from Breath of Fire 3 by Akari Kaida and Yoshino Aoki. Never heard that track before, and I really like that. That was Country Living from Breath of Fire 3 by Akari Kaida and Yoshino Aoki, submitted by Daniel Perney, aka Muddle Madness. Next up, we've got a track from Scott McElhone, and he wrote one of my favorite testimonials of the show. He writes, "Day 30 or 40? Is this a Monday or a Friday? Is the VGMbassy commissary out of hot chocolate? It all blends together now when you are self-isolating with a family of 5 in New Jersey. My normally shaved face has a pandemic beard. I shower at night. Strange, but very relaxing. My kids, 3 under 3, think they are on some kind of endless vacation with mom and dad, but all the parks are otherwise closed. I paid $20 to rent Trolls World Tour for family movie night, and I saw a car drive by today with a fully decked out Umbrella Corps sticker theme, which was amazing. So, how do I keep calm and look forward to normalcy? With Toe Jam Jammin'. Maybe it's my rose-colored memories, but this song is so funky and fun. Those Genesis Twarmpy beats, as it's known on XVGM radio, just uplift my soul. Plus, if you love this jam and want to listen to a live version, I highly recommend the Super High Tops. Just search them out on YouTube for 15 minutes of bliss. I hope everyone out there in Embassy Land is doing well, being socially distant, and taking this all seriously. Shout out to Alex the Messenger for his early PSA on washing hands. Scott. Alright, well, let's listen to Toe Jam Jammin' from Toe Jam and Earl by John Baker. That was Toe Jam Jammin' from Toe Jammin' Earl by John Baker, and that was submitted by Scott McElhone. Next up, we've got a track from Ryan Steele, aka Ryan DS. He writes, "Right now, my life is super duper busy. I'm working 12-hour days on the farm with seed cleaning and calving. The positive part of all this is the cute little baby calves that are born. Although it can get really cold and have trouble with calves in the night, we may lose some babies, but for the most part they live. They are just still so cute. They're so full of life and jumping around. Happy little cows ripping around with their tails sticking in the air and playing. Watching those little creatures so happy and loving life makes me happy. I have 2 nephews that are under the age of 3 months. They are at the really cute baby state where they are so happy and smiling. The positive part of life is new life. New creations who are so happy, so new, and no longer jaded by the hardships of life. The potentials are endless and so much ahead of them. A world of opportunity. So when we are feeling down in the dumps, there is always something new to look forward to. Every day is a new day. A new day of possibilities, opportunities, and self-improvement. We are a creature with such potential and able to be such a blessing to others. So, be nice to others." This is the title theme from Divinity Original Sin 2 by Borislav Slavov. That was the title theme from Divinity Original Sin 2 by Borislav Slavov. Up next, we've got a track from Volts Supreme, and he writes, "Here's my song for your Embassy exclusive episode. It's actually 2 tracks, Dream and Unity, from Lack of Love by Ryuichi Sakamoto. Because they're both quote-unquote the same and short, I've blended them together. Was thinking about the humor side of VGM being good for cheering people up, but this is probably 1 or 2 of the most dreamiest video game tunes I've ever heard. Hopefully it can elevate someone out of their mood or situation and into some sort of otherworldly bliss. And I'm a huge Ryuichi Sakamoto fan. Super dreamy stuff. Enjoy." Alright, we'll enjoy Dream and Unity from Lack of Love by Ryuichi Sakamoto. That was Dream and Unity from Lack of Love by Ryuichi Sakamoto. Up next, we've got an audio testimonial from Bedroth. This is Click Clock Woods Spring from Banjo-Kazooie by Grant Kirkhope.
Hi Ed, this is Bedroth from Very Good Music VGM podcast, and I really like this idea. It's a crazy time out there in the real world right now, and it's always good to have kind of a distraction from that. I have been enjoying having a little bit more family time, even if we all are going a little bit stir crazy and starting to get on each other's nerves. It's never a bad thing, and we're going to look back on this time when we get older, and just, I think, it's going to help us put things in perspective in the future, that's for sure. With regard to your topic, I kind of waffled between a few things. One really upbeat track that everybody knows is Green Greens from Kirby's Dream Land. I almost went with that, but instead I decided to defer back to the very first theme that popped in my head when you mentioned upbeat tunes. I haven't played this game very much, but I absolutely adore the soundtrack, and this track is far and away my favorite thing in the whole score. I can't listen to this track without kind of bouncing around, and just, I always have a big goofy grin on my face the whole time. This is Click Clock Woods, the spring version from Banjo-Kazooie. This, of course, was composed by Grant Kirkhope for Banjo-Kazooie on the N64.
That was Click Clock Woods' Spring Theme from Banjo-Kazooie by Grant Kirkhope. Up next, we've got an audio testimonial from Bedroth's son, Shoot Kapow. His choice is The Wind Scene 600 AD from Chrono Trigger by Yasunori Mitsuda.
Hey, this is Shoot Kapow from the Very Good Music podcast. During the time of quarantine and all that, I've had a bit of time to work on my backlog of about 1,000 games I've been working on. Like Mother 3, Mother 2, Mario Galaxy 2, just a lot of games. When you mentioned upbeat or calming tracks, a song that popped into my mind was Wind Scene from Chrono Trigger, composed by Yasunori Mitsuda, a composer that I love a lot, from a game that I also love a lot. And, yeah.
That was The Wind Scene 600 AD from Chrono Trigger by Yasunori Mitsuda, submitted by Shoot Kapow. We're keeping with the Chrono Trigger theme here, with the Dyad, who says, "Since I've been working from home, I've been having much extra time to spend with my family. I've been taking the kids for walks in the morning and making breakfast for them, things like that. My daughter just had her birthday, and we got her first bike. Every day at lunch since then I've been going outside and teaching her how to ride her bike. Today, we made it to the end of the street. This is something I could never do in the normal world. Shrinking down the scale of the world to the size of your family is scary and hard, but in a lot of ways, it's the best possible way to exist." The Dyad's choice is Chrono's theme from Chrono Trigger, again by Yasunori Mitsuda. That was Chrono's theme from Chrono Trigger by Yasunori Mitsuda, submitted by the Dyad. Up next, we have an audio testimonial from Cam Worma, and then we'll listen to Time is Changing from Dark Cloud 2 by Tomohito Nishihira.
I love this game so much, for lots of reasons, but for now, I'll just talk about this track. I typically don't like VGM tracks with vocals, but this is one of the few exceptions for me. I love this track so much. It's so sweet and moving and relaxing, and I always get goosebumps when I listen to it, partially because of the lyrics, but for me mostly it's the music itself, the movement of the music. But the lyrics certainly do play a part. The sun will rise and pierce the sky when this wonderful world starts to shine. Can't get much more positive than that. It's very uplifting, so I think it fits the theme. As far as a positive message goes, I would say as long as we have the ability to continue to do the things we love to do, we should be doing those things. Maybe the time will come where those things will no longer be available to us. Hopefully it doesn't get that bad, but in the meantime, embrace the things you love, whether it be video games or video game music or parcheesi or fish or vanilla flavored things or weird textures and plastic objects and oddly colored knickknacks made of rare elements. So that's what I got right now, and I hope this track contributes to that positivity and that everyone's day is perhaps a little better than it may have been otherwise. So enjoy all the music in this episode and stay well.
Take my chances, racing time, rewriting the book for all to see. On my own, I can ride the winds of change to heal a broken time, a broken world.
All right, that was Time is Changing from Dark Cloud 2 by Tomohito Nishiura, submitted by Cam Worma. Last track of our show today is my pick, and I chose the staff role from Tomodachi Life by Daisuke Matsuoka and Asuka Ito. And I chose this because it's a beautiful, beautiful track. It's extremely calming, and I also chose it because of how you kind of earn this track in the game. Tomodachi Life is all about selflessness. It's about hanging out in an apartment building full of friends, and you check in on them, you buy them things, you make sure they're happy, you cultivate their relationships, you help people get in touch with each other that have common interests, you do little musical projects with them. It's a really good substitute for having been sequestered in your own home forever and kind of craving personal contact with people from a distance closer than 6 feet, I guess. But I had put this game down for a while. I originally played it for hours and hours and hours when I first got it on my 3DS. And going back to it was very, very interesting, seeing a lot of the characters and friends that all came back to me, and the different decorations that I put in their house. I guess it's kind of like Animal Crossing, but it's more social and less cutting down trees to earn money, that kind of a thing. I really like this song. Like I said, the way that you earn this is by falling in love with somebody, raising a kid together, and when they become an adult, they can either go off on their own and travel to other people's worlds as kind of a traveling street pass kind of a person, or they can become a new denizen of your apartment building and get their own room and kind of chill out there. But it's cute because once you choose which way they go, you get this really nice ending sequence where it shows you raising this child as from a little baby all the way up to an adult, and the different things that you did together. And I like that it's called staff role and not end, because it's not the end, it's a new beginning. And I feel like the situation we're in now is a new beginning. I feel like this is making people wake up to just how important our service workers are, just how much work you can do from home without having to be at the office, how being with your family and loved ones 24/7 can change your relationship with them. It's a lot of self-discovery. It's a lot of discovering what other people do. It's a lot of coping with fear and anxiety and understanding that literally everybody in the world is coping with the exact same thing at the exact same time. And there's a kind of camaraderie in that, I think, that people are going to understand. I think when everybody gets back to their offices and back to the bars that they frequent, they're all going to have a common emotion or a common kind of state that they're going to be able to share with each other and realize that lots of people thought about things the exact same way. And I think it's going to help a lot of people kind of get back into the normality of things, which hopefully comes sooner than later, because yeah, this is getting crazy. Anyways, I hope you enjoy the staff role from Tomodachi Life by Daisuke Matsuoka and Asuka Ito. Alright, that was Staff Roll from Tomodachi Life by Daisuke Matsuoka and Asuka Ito. That about wraps our show up. I hope you guys heard some tracks that you enjoyed. Maybe it calmed you down a little bit. Maybe you heard from some friends on here that you haven't heard from in a while. I'm glad and I'm thankful for everyone who submitted tracks to the show. As for the future of Embassy Exclusive, I'm not sure what's going to happen. At least for the next couple of months while this social isolation thing is going on. It's just not going to be possible for me and Todd and Joe to do recordings. So worst case scenario, the show goes on hiatus for a couple months and then we bring it back and pick up where we left off. If I have the time and future episodes of VGMbassy are conducive to it, I may maybe put out some supplementary or companion solo podcasts, like a short little clip here or there as a Patreon exclusive. So if you guys have suggestions or, think any of those are good ideas, reach out to me, let me know, hit me up on the Patreon exclusive Discord. For those of you who are not patrons and you enjoyed this show, definitely let me know. And obviously, if any of these testimonials helped you out in any way, please feel free to reach out to our friends on Discord and Facebook and thank them for their contribution and taking some time to put together a song and a testimonial for the show. I really appreciate that. So this does not take the place of a VGMbassy episode. I'm planning on releasing this probably Monday the 20th or Tuesday the 21st. There will be an episode released on Friday the 24th, normal schedule. That will be a fun solo show all about a particular console that I talked a little bit about on Discord and shared some pictures with in the Patreon channel. But to others, it might be a surprise, but it's going to be full of a lot of really cool music that I think you'll all really enjoy. So I will see you at the end of the week with another episode of the VGMbassy. Thank you so much, guys. Take care, be well, wash your hands, be safe. We'll all make it through this.